Hello, I am Satish Gupta, working as a Java trainer in Naresh IT Technologies. Welcome to Java video sessions. Now in this session we will see one of the important Java 8 feature, that is functional interfaces or functional interface in Java 8.0, right. So first we will see what is functional interface, what is functional interface. So the definition is very easy. What is functional interface? So it is an interface, right? And what is a functional interface? A functional interface is an interface which contain or which consists only one abstract method, So what is functional interface is? It is an interface, right? It is an interface. A functional interface is an interface which consists only one abstract method. And a functional interface can have any number of default methods, but it can have only one abstract methods. A functional interface can have any number of default methods, but it should have only one abstract method. Okay. So this is a definition of functional interface. A functional interface is an interface which consists only one abstract method. A functional interface can have any number of default methods, but it should have only one abstract method. Okay, suppose you write an interface in Java by using the keyword called interface. Interface it followed by interface name. Suppose there is an interface called A. A is an interface, and by default the methods of interface are abstract, right? Now I can say this interface is a functional interface because it is having only one abstract method. So writing abstract is optional because by default the methods of interface are what? Abstract. Okay, and I can write like this also. I can say interface. So there is an interface called A, and within this I write one method called M1, right? And this is an abstract method, and even I can write any number of default methods. I can say default void M2. A default method is a method with body. I can write default void M3. This is again method with a body. Now this is valid functional interface, and this is also valid functional interface. But if I am writing an interface, suppose interface A, and inside this interface if I am writing void M1, void M2, then this is not called as a functional interface because it is having more than one abstract method. So I cannot call this as what? Functional interface, because functional interface contain only one abstract method. So I want my compiler should verify this interface contain one abstract method or more than one abstract method. For that, in Java 8 there is one annotation called @functional interface. Whenever you declare an interface as a functional interface, you tell the compiler, so just verify is it this interface is having only one abstract method or more than one abstract method by using one annotation called @functional interface. Suppose if I write an interface like this interface A, and if I write two abstract methods, then it compiles fine, right? Because interface may have more than one abstract method. But I want my compiler should verify this interface is a functional interface and should have only one abstract method. For that, you try to declare this interface by using one annotation called functional interface, right? So there is one annotation called @functional interface. at the rate functional interface annotation, at the rate functional interface annotation. So, this annotation is used to tell the compiler my interface is functional interface, and you tell the compiler that okay, this interface should have only one abstract method. For example, if I write an interface with more than one abstract method, see, I just write interface A, and within interface A I write two abstract methods. I write void m1 and void m2. Now this is two abstract methods, but interface can have more than one abstract method, okay, but functional interface can have only one abstract method. If I compile this, is it compiler gives any error? No. Why? Because an interface might contain more than one abstract method. So compiler generates dot class file, that is some a dot class. Suppose I want my compiler should verify, okay, because I am writing functional interface, by mistakenly if I write more than one abstract method, my compiler should generate what? Error. For that, I will tell the compiler that okay, this interface is what? Functional interface, by using annotation called at the rate functional interface, right. So whenever you write a functional interface, you use the annotation called at the rate, I am saying here functional interface, at the rate functional interface, at the rate functional interface, and then I am saying interface, okay, interface, and the name of this interface is A, and if I am writing void m1, okay, void m1 and then void m2, okay, I write two abstract methods, and what will happen if I compile it? The compiler gives what? Error. Compiler gives error because you are telling the compiler that this interface is what? Functional interface. Then your compiler verifies this functional interface is having only one abstract method. But if you see this interface, it is having how many abstract methods? Two. Then compiler gives what here? Error. So functional interface must have only one abstract method. Suppose I am writing one interface like this. Okay, assume that interface, okay, interface A, and this is annotated with what is this here? Functional interface. Functional interface, okay, and then I am saying void m1. Now if I compile this, by using Java C, now it is compiled fine. It generates what here? A dot class, right? Okay. So now now compiler verifies is that this interface is having only one abstract method. So this interface is having only one abstract method. Compiler generates what? Dot class file. Okay. So this is what is functional interface and how to create functional interface, right? Then next we will see what is the need of functional interface. Now we have seen what is functional interface and how to create a functional interface. Okay. So what is functional interface? It is an interface which contain only one abstract method, that is called as a functional interface. In order to create a functional interface, you can use an annotation called at the rate functional interface, okay, so that compiler verifies that interface must have only one abstract method. But I said a functional interface can have more than one default method, but it can have only one abstract method. Now next we will see what is the need of functional interface. So what is the need of? Okay, we will see what is the need of functional interface. Now as I said, functional interface is an interface which contain only one abstract method. So I said this is how you write functional interface, saying interface, interface name, and to check compiler is it this interface is a functional interface or not, you are using one annotation called functional interface, and it is also called as a single abstract interface. Okay, it is having only one abstract method, and as I said it can have any number of default methods. Then interface, actually interface is inherited but not instantiated, means you cannot create object of what? Interface. Then we should provide the implementation of this functional interface. So the implementation of functional interface can be used as Lambda expression. So it can be used as Lambda expression. The implementation of functional interface can be used as a lambda expression, or it can be method reference. Okay, implementation of functional interface can be a lambda expression, or it can be a method reference. It can be a lambda expression, or it can be what? Method reference. So as you know it, why we develop an interface? We write an interface. Generally interface is implemented but not instantiated. Okay, so this is a functional interface, and the implementation of this functional interface can be represented as a lambda expression, or it can be represented as what? Method reference. Okay, lambda expression, or it can be represented as what? Method reference. Then we will see how can we represent this functional interface as a lambda expression. As I said, what is lambda expression is, it is an anonymous function, and at the same time you are saying lambda expression is an implementation of functional interface. It means lambda expression is an anonymous function, but how can I refer that function? I can refer that function with one reference. That reference is an instance of functional interface. You can say a lambda expression is an implementation of, or lambda expression which is anonymous function, or it is a function which is implementation of abstract method of functional interface. We will talk about this, what exactly this is. You can represent the functional interface as an implementation of lambda expression, functional interface as an instance of lambda expression. For example, I have one functional interface is annotation, an interface A is an interface, and this interface is having one method called M1. Now this is called as an abstract method. Now I need to provide the implementation of this M1 method. I am providing the implementation of this M1 method as one lambda expression. Now how can I write that lambda expression? As I said, the syntax of lambda, right? Okay, lambda expression is anonymous function. Generally how you write a function? You write a function like this, right? Suppose void, this is a return type, and this is a method name, right? Return type and method name. But when it comes to a lambda, it is anonymous function, means this function doesn't have any name. Now this is a function, this parenthesis indicates what here? Function, because this function doesn't have any name, but it is having a body, and that body is separated with hyphen and what? Greater than. So I am writing one function, right? This is one function, but this is which function here? Anonymous function, and this function is an implementation of functional interface. This function is an implementation of what? Functional interface. If I write only anonymous function, what will happen? Now can I call this function without reference? No, I cannot call the function without reference. Then this has to be given some reference, right? And that reference is nothing but what here? Functional interface. So what you are doing is, you are trying to write A. Now A is an interface name, and A is a reference variable equal to, okay, I am providing the implementation of this interface, and this interface is having how many abstract methods? Only one abstract method. This interface is having how many abstract methods? Only one abstract method, and this method is without body. Okay, so lambda expression is what here? Anonymous function. So this function, this is a function, right? It is an anonymous function, or it is an implementation of which one? Functional interface. Okay, so I am writing a function without parameters, and this is hyphen and then greater than, which represent a body of this lambda expression. Okay, then I am saying here system dot out dot println, I just display the message called hello, right? Okay, now when you see this A is a interface name, and A is what here? Reference variable, and this reference variable is referring to one expression. This reference variable is referring to one expression, and this expression is what here? Lambda expression, and it is nothing but anonymous function, and it is also an implementation of which method? M1 method. Now whenever you want to call the M1 method, you call the M1 method or the implementation of M1 method by using A dot M1. When you say A dot M1, now A is a reference variable of which type? A type. Now the compiler look for M1 method in what? A. So is it M1 method is there in A? Yes. Then compiler will not give any error. But to call this method you required an implementation. This implementation is in the form of one expression, and that expression is what? Lambda expression. Now what is the message I will get here? Hello. So types of lambda expressions. Now when you see the types of lambda expressions, we have different types of lambda expressions. You can have a lambda expression, without parameters, lambda expression without parameters, and without return type, without parameters and without return type. And you can write a lambda expression without parameters and with return type. So you can write the lambda expression with return type, or you can say with parameters without return type, and you can write the lambda expression with parameters and with return type. So these are different ways of writing a lambda expression. One is a lambda expression. I said no, lambda expression is anonymous function. When you are saying function, right, you can write a function without parameters and without return type. You can write a function without parameters and with return type, and you can write a lambda expression with parameters and without return type, and you can write a lambda expression with parameters and with return type. But in order to write this, I said you can represent a functional interface as a lambda expression. So functional interface is a single abstract method interface. So that method should have the same signature of the lambda expression, right? It means when you are writing a lambda expression without parameters and without return type, now single abstract method should have the same signature, like without parameters and without return type. Suppose if it is a lambda expression is without parameters and with return type, now single abstract method should have the same signature, like what is it, without parameters and with return type. And same thing for third type as well as fourth type, because I said no, lambda expressions are the implementation of these methods, right? So whatever method signature is there in single in functional interface, you try to implement with the same thing as what lambda expression. What I mean to say is, okay, there is one interface, for example functional interface. There is a functional interface called A, and A is a functional interface, and it is having one abstract method called add. Add is a method, it is having return type as an integer, and the name of this method is add, and having two parameters, one is integer n1 and second one is integer n2. I said lambda expression is an implementation of functional interface. Sorry, now here you are saying interface A. Okay, so I am saying A, and A equal to, now see here, now this is add is a method. Add is a method is an implementation of functional interface. It is nothing but it is anonymous function, and this function is having two parameters. Now integer n1, integer n2. So it is an implementation. See, this is an implementation. Lambda expression is an implementation of which one? Add method of functional interface, but lambda doesn't have any name, right? Okay, now this is having two parameters, and hyphen and then greater than. Now this will return a value of which type? Integer type. Then I am trying to say, okay, I am trying to say some return, okay, return some 10. Return some 10. 10 is a value of which type? Integer type. So what will happen when I compile this, or when I say a dot add, okay, I will try to say 10 comma 20. Then when you say a dot add 10 comma 20, the compiler look for add method in interface what? A, having two parameters of which type? Integer type. Now it is having two parameters of which type? Integer type, and at the same time this method is returning one value or not? Yes, it is returning a value of which type? Integer type. Now this is an implementation, right? Now this lambda is an implementation of this method. Okay, this method is having return type, and this method is having how many parameters? Two parameters. Suppose if I am writing like this, a, Okay, suppose I write a and I write a lambda without parameters, and I just write here system.out.println some hello, then what will happen? The compiler gives what? Error. Why? Because there is no method without parameters and without return type in interface what? A. Now there are different ways of writing this lambda expression. Generally it is, you can write in 4 ways, that is lambda expression without parameters and without return type, and lambda expression without parameters and with return type, and lambda expression with parameters and without return type, and lambda expression with parameters and with return type. Now Java provides some predefined functional interfaces. Apart from that, you can write your own functional interfaces. Okay, we will try to see how to write all these types of expressions, and how can we pass one lambda expression toward another function. That is what I said in lambda expressions. Okay, a lambda expression is a function object. Now that can be passed from one method to what? Another method. Generally you call the method by sending data, but here by adding functional programming you can send one function as a reference to what? Another function. It means one function not only receive the data to perform the operations, it also receive another function to perform certain operations. Now we will try to see more on this functional interfaces and lambda expressions in the next session. Thank you for watching this video. For more videos, subscribe NareshIT channel.